All right, welcome back to the Watchman. The study we're going to look at now is entitled Burma Road, Faith Forged Through Discipline. The Burma Road is where grit is tested and strength is built. In the Christian life, faith is forged the exact same way, through discipline in our physical, nutritional, mental, social, and spiritual lives. When I hear the phrase faith forged through discipline, it takes me back to my years of high school football, specifically my senior year. We had a conditioning drill called the Burma Road, and it was designed to push you to your limits: endurance, focus, and determination. The name comes from history. During World War II, the Burma Road. It was a dangerous mountain supply route connecting Burma to China. It ran through steep cliffs, jungles, and harsh terrain. It was difficult, exhausting, and dangerous, but it was essential. Supplies had to reach soldiers fighting in the war. Because of that history, coaches sometimes named drills like Burma Road to represent training under extreme pressure and motivation. Our version of Burma Road looked like this. Picture a 100-yard football field. Across the field, zigzagging between hash marks, were tackling dummies placed every 10 yards. The first ones were heavy, and they gradually got lighter as you went down the field. The drill was brutal. You sprinted to the first dummy, tackled it, ran diagonally across the field, hit the next one, and continued back and forth across the 100-yard field. Hit after hit, sprint after sprint. When you reached the end, the coach rolled a football to the ground, and you had to pick it up without fumbling it and run it into the end zone. But we didn't just run it once. We ran it multiple times. By the third round, we were completely exhausted. At least those who gave their best effort every single time. Our legs were shaking and our lungs were burning, the sweat rolling down our faces. But the coach wasn't finished. After that drill, he told us that we had to run 10 perfect plays in a row before practice was over. Not just run them perfectly. If a pass was dropped, we started over at 1. If a lineman stepped the wrong way, we started over at 1. If we false started, we started over at 1. If someone missed a block, we started over. And this was after we were physically and mentally drained. It took nearly 20 extra minutes before we could finally do it. During that time, I pushed myself so hard trying to lead by example as one of the captains that I actually passed out from exhaustion. I don't share this story because I'm bragging or proud about it. I share it because it taught me something important. Preparation under pressure determines performance in the fourth quarter. That lesson applies to life too, especially to our faith. The Bible often compares the Christian life to athletic training. So we're going to look at some disciplines here that are important in the Christian life. The first discipline is the physical discipline. Athletes understand physical discipline: weightlifting, conditioning, drills, repetition. Paul uses that same imagery in 1 Corinthians 9:27. He talks about how we need to discipline our bodies, keeping it under control and making it a slave. The Greek word here, or the idea, is to train intensely or bring our body into full submission. Athletes discipline their bodies so they can perform well. The body matters because in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19, it talks about how our bodies are a temple of the Lord. Taking care of our bodies is not vanity. It is a stewardship. The second discipline I want to talk about is nutritional discipline. Athletes also understand that what you eat matters. Nutrition affects energy, endurance, and recovery. Daniel understood this the best. In Daniel chapter 1, verse 12, when the king was trying to get him to eat all the fancy food, he just simply asked for vegetables and water instead. And the Hebrew word here for vegetables is just seed-based foods or natural nourishment, nothing fancy. And we find out later, a couple verses in Daniel 1:15, that they appeared healthier and stronger than all the other men. Now, the word here, healthier and stronger, gets the idea of good, thriving, and flourishing. Daniel's discipline shows us that honoring God includes how we treat our bodies through the nutritional value as well. Next up, we have the mental discipline. Physical strength alone isn't enough. Athletes must also develop mental toughness. Track runners know this all too well. When sprint repeats get difficult, the mind starts telling you to stop. But champions train their minds. Romans 12:2 tells us that we need to transform the renewing of our mind. The Greek word here for transforming is referring to the inner thinking and the understanding within us. What we feed our minds shapes our lives. Philippians 4:8 reads, "Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things." See, that is mental discipline. Then we have social discipline. Another often overlooked discipline that we don't really think a whole lot about, but is extremely important, especially as we move into the 21st century. Athletes know their environment matters. The people they train with, the music they listen to, the influences they allow in their lives can shape their performance. Scripture says the same thing. 1 Corinthians 15:33 basically says the people that you surround with can either corrupt you or they can be good character. The Greek word here is gradually ruin or spoil, which is good. Influence is powerful. The music we listen to, the media we consume, the friendships we keep, all of it shapes our hearts and our minds. Proverbs 27:17 says, "Iron sharpens iron." Social discipline means choosing influences that strengthen rather than weaken faith. Next, we have spiritual discipline. Ultimately, the most important discipline is spiritual discipline. 1 Timothy 4:7 says, "Exercise yourself towards godliness." Again, the Greek word here means train like an athlete. Exercise, train yourself. Spiritual strength grows through prayer, scripture, obedience, worship, fellowship. Just like athletic training, spiritual strength grows through consistent practice. So I had another lesson later in life after my senior year in high school football. I had this goal of completing an Ironman. So these same principles kind of regenerated themselves in my mind as I trained for that. It took 3 years of preparation, long swims, long rides, long runs, endless repetition. Ironman training requires physical endurance, mental toughness, nutritional discipline, and a whole lot of perseverance and dedication. You don't finish an Ironman because of one good workout. You finish because of thousands of disciplined choices. The Christian life works the same way. God calls us to train the whole person. God calls us to train the physical, nutritional, mental, social, and spiritual discipline because life eventually brings us into the fourth quarter moments. Moments when we are tired. Moments when quitting feels easier. But Scripture reminds us in Hebrews 12:1, run with endurance the race set before us. The Greek word here means steadfast endurance, never giving up. And when our strength runs out, God promises something even greater. In Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Again, the Hebrew here means power and enduring strength. Right? The goal is not just to run the race. It is to finish well. And as a closing verse, 2 Timothy 4:7, one that I hope I can say along with you is, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race and I have kept the faith. I hope you enjoyed the Burma Road devotion. Until next time, take care, God bless, and be strong.